So it seems like Logan Paul and KSI can't stop getting into trouble on social media, so let's just dive straight into this. Over the past few videos on the whole Lunchly thing, I've been mainly focusing on KSI and not really Logan Paul, but in today's video we're going to be focused on Logan Paul because he's back at the forefront of this situation. And then of course after that we will speak about KSI because he has not stopped talking about DanTDM amidst his own music controversy. Unless you've been living under a Jake Paul-sized rock, you would know that KSI, Logan Paul, MrBeast respectively have been coming under fire for their product Lunchly. But specifically Logan Paul over the past few years has been under heavy fire from the majority of the internet for CryptoZoo and most recently Prime. The hate towards Logan Paul over recent months had started to die down until the Lunchly stuff has sort of brought it back up to the forefront, and today's situation is no different. Here, TommyInnit, a popular Minecraft YouTuber that you might know from the Dream SMP and stuff like that, and he made one little tweet about Logan Paul where he screenshotted an episode of Impulsive where he's talking about Prime and the captions about Gaza. But realistically, this tweet is a nothing burger, it's just a joke. He's poking fun at Logan Paul for what this looks like. It's just that. It's just a bit of criticism, a light-hearted joke, nothing really overly serious, just pointing out what Logan Paul's actually like in a pretty funny manner. And everybody can see that, even people that dislike the Dream SMP, TommyInnit and stuff like that, even all those people agree that that's just what TommyInnit was doing. Again, like DanTDM, there's nothing malicious, it's just an opinion or a joke. But of course, just like the DanTDM situation, Logan Paul couldn't cope here and he responded in a really dumb manner, and I'm sensing a kind of pattern here. A content creator like DanTDM or here TommyInnit will make a post about a product of Logan Paul's, maybe just making a joke or a criticism, and Logan Paul immediately responds instead of just ignoring it, you know, with something incredibly dumb that makes him look even worse. And unlike his response to DanTDM where he pulled a really weird left card and when, you know, you haven't responded to Lunchable's lead so you can't criticize my product, here he's pulled up old messages from TommyInnit where he's being more friendly and being more appreciative of him and complimenting him for his fight. You know, from what I'm saying about this might be a good own from Logan Paul. You know, TommyInnit is jumping on the hate train for him currently, but behind the scenes he's glazing him. If these old messages weren't over a year old, these messages were like a month old, a couple of weeks old, something like along the lines of that, I would get this way more, and even then I'd say it's a bit of a stretch because, you know, opinions can change like that pretty quickly. But these messages were from TommyInnit in October of 2023, a whole ass year ago. Opinions are going to change, especially on somebody like Logan Paul, who has found himself in tons of controversy with people like CoffeeZilla, with Prime, with all the lawsuits, and now Lunchly. I'd to state as well that TommyInnit is still a pretty young guy, and a year ago he would have been even younger. He's just growing up, maturing, and realizing that he doesn't want to be associated with somebody like Logan Paul anymore. He's kind of done the same with people like Dream over the past year as well. He's just growing up and realizing who he wants to be, and that's reflected in the content he's also posting on his channel. So posting year-old messages, and bearing in mind there are only a few messages of just support, doesn't really prove anything. It's a bit of a weird response. I don't know why people like Logan Paul and KSI can't just shush and not respond to stuff like this. It just realistically doesn't need a response. You don't have to respond to everything, especially when your response is just going to make you look 10 times worse and more pathetic. Tommy and his friends also came in to criticize Logan Paul, with Jack Manifold saying, dude, these are from a year ago, what does this even prove? He followed up with, on his other accounts, sees kid expressing disdain for something abhorrent he's done, responds with private DMs from the kid showing he clearly admired him a year ago. Does this not make you look worse? And this is so true. These are year-old messages from a younger person who can change their opinion, especially when it comes to something like this. Somebody might like a person a year ago and now they don't. That's just how life works, and that's something that changes a lot. I don't usually bring things like this up, but I'm gonna do it anyway because, you know, why not? I like to imagine, right, Logan Paul, he's just had a kid recently, very recently, like in the past several weeks, and instead of taking care of said kid, he's looking back for his old messages with TommyInnit, like a 20-year-old, to try and get an own on him on Twitter. And this all sort of goes back to what I was saying about Jack Doherty, and of course that's a completely different situation, but it does reflect their priorities as content creators, and especially arrogant, money-hungry ones. Instead of, you know, spending time with his baby like he should be doing, he's more bold about TommyInnit on Twitter. But not only did Jack Manifold say something about Logan Paul, but also Tubbo did. Now, Tubbo is probably one of TommyInnit's best friends, and he actually spoke out against Logan Paul as well. Tubbo quoted the post and said, Logan Paul, please use the Lunchly money to hire a PR team. Please, Logan, with 2 crying face emojis. And again, this is true. I don't know why he is posting stuff like this, and why his team isn't stopping from posting stuff like this. This just harms him and his brand and how he's reflected on the public. I'd like to think experienced content creators like Logan Paul and KSI would know when to respond and not to respond. And speaking of KSI, he has continued his world load of shit. But one thing I will never get with this KSI situation, as he's still blagging about one certain blue-haired Minecraft YouTuber, DanTDM, even after several weeks. There is no benefit to doing this anymore, it's just only harming his credit, but he thinks that all publicity is good publicity and this is helping him with his music. He posted saying, "Oh yo, at DanTDM, why don't you come over to Sidecast, let's talk this out like men." My first thing would be, what is there to talk out? DanTDM had one tweet, which wasn't even heavy criticism, it was just an opinion, and KSI has been arguing with himself for weeks now. Why would DanTDM ever come on your podcast where it's just you and your friends to talk about something that, you know, he's only made one post about? And again, KSI's whole cope here is this.
Oh no.
So much.
I just do it because I know it pisses people off. Bro, I look on Twitter and I go, oh wow, these people actually care that I'm just saying all these things about that.
You said you want to start a real life chant about that.
Yeah, because it's
you are not the rattler.
I like to continue it because it's just funny.
So you think?
But then I feel like it's reaching its point where it's not even funny for me anymore.
It wasn't funny.
It's not funny.
No, bro, it was great. I'm using it as promo for my song. I'm also just...
You're not rattling Dan, you're rattling his YouTube fans.
That's
He clearly does care, and he's not rattling his fans. He's rattling nobody because people just feel sorry for the guy. People feel sorry for KSI because he just looks pathetic. It isn't having the reaction he wanted, and I think he's slowly realizing that. Because, you know, he's been using this, like he said there, to promote his song, and his song is doing horrifically, and everybody is hating on it. That's become the new Lunchley thing now, is to hate on KSI's song. And this clip from KSI's video where he reacts to the hate about his song really sums it up, as he's blaming DanTDM for it, when he's the one that used DanTDM as promotion for this song.
But we get it now. Alright. Are we just gonna continue to take the piss? Is that what we're gonna do here? Is it just gonna be weeks of you lot just taking the piss? Somehow I feel like this is DanTDM's fault.
Maybe if you didn't use the DanTDM drama to promote this, people would have a better outlook on this song and not hate you entirely for it. And I mean, even then, when he's still tagging DanTDM about coming on his podcast, he's then retagging it like he's won. Like, oh yeah, you know, because DanTDM didn't respond and doesn't want to come on the sidecast, that, you know, KSI has won. But I mean, DanTDM has won in the eyes of the public because he made one post and KSI is still talking about it weeks later. And you know, he's having a breakdown and coping about his song not doing well, and he's still using DanTDM's name to promote it, even though that has backfired horrifically. Instead of getting lots of support and the song doing really well, people are just hate watching, which, you know, great for numbers, but realistically, you don't want people just to hate watch or hate listen to your song. KSI and Logan Paul were too arrogant to stop replying to people for no reason. Logan Paul is having his thing with TommyInnit, and KSI weeks later is still having his issues with DanTDM. And you know, it's pretty sad to see. You would think well-seasoned content creators like this would understand that, you know, this isn't good for business, this isn't good for your products, this isn't good for your reputation, and this is absolutely having the adverse effect that you want it to have. I'm just gonna end off this video with a bit of a thing, like, do you think that Logan Paul, TommyInnit is going to, you know, continue on like DanTDM and KSI? And honestly, as much as I think Logan Paul's even more pathetic as KSI, I just don't think it will, because for whatever reason, KSI is just absolutely obsessed. But if you did enjoy today's video and you want to see more content like this, smash a like on today's video, share it around, subscribe. But I've been your host Samuel, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video.